I have a douchebag smile on my face right now? I don't even know what I'm smiling about, but I feel douchey. Okay. I think it's because, number one, presenting my look today, it's very retro. And I just can't, when I listen to this music, I just can't not smile. So today we're going to be going into some Witch Hazel healing sessions / psychic readings / amazingness. So I'm excited. Please comment below when you get here so I can see who's here. How much do we love the vibe today? I'm having a good hair day. I'm having a good makeup day. I'm having good lighting. That's all a girl needs. That's literally all a girl needs in life. Do you guys want to see my lip gloss? Isn't it perfect? It's like the perfect lip liner with gloss. Just gonna wait for everybody. Sometimes when this happens, you guys ever notice sometimes you come live and then like you can't see anybody for a bit or you can't see the comments? I noticed when that happens, you almost have to like X off the live and then start a new live. But I'll wait a little bit longer. I see there's 2 people here. If you want it, 4 people, yay! Malak, okay, you have been wanting to be on a live for a while now. It's totally meant to be, yay! Okay, so Malak, am I saying your name right? Number 1. Number 2, I know that you probably want like some sort of like reading or channeling done on you. So please just share the video and then comment below shared, and we're going to go into some channeling for you. And just feeling so good. So it's going to be amazing. I'm going to try something. What I really want to talk to you guys about and the way I want to talk to you is, a lot of us with our spiritual and intuitive gifts, we know how to feel things sometimes, but we don't know how to explain them. And I find that what I can really help with is helping you really bring those gifts into the world in a way that you can not only feel your gifts, but explain them so that they're also received on another level. I've seen you once before live, but not sure if I feel up to it. Okay, we don't have to do you. What does one have to do for you to channel us? Well, I will start with you, Laura. I just feel so in love with life right now. Okay. So, Laura, why don't you tell me, what is it that you really want? Like, what do you want to happen in life right now? Because we're talking about overflow, right? Like, we're talking about really being brought into overflow, the life of our dreams, the business of our dreams, right? So why don't you start by telling me, like, what is it? And I'm going to start tapping into your energy. What would be the dream come true right now that you really want to happen? And actually, we can work on reading for everybody. So anyone who kind of like wants to have a reading done, just comment below and say like, what's the thing that you really want? Like the thing that would be your moment. You know what I mean? Like it's your moment. What would that look like? And what would you want? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go deeper into that. Money, connection, and power. So what we want to do is we've identified, so you have one thing, which is the money. So that's the human thing that you really want. The next thing is like connection. And then the next thing is power. So those are like one layer deeper. My Goddess Ascension program to really take off. So what we're going to do is we're going to read your energy, both in the human form and the energetic form. Okay. So when you're looking to receive something from someone, like receive their coaching, what you want to do is like, while I'm talking, not only are you listening to what I'm saying, but you're actually seeing what you feel inside of your body, because what I say to you will actually be irrelevant if you don't feel anything. And this is where we go wrong, is we'll go around looking for information on things, and we'll be looking for like human brain breakthroughs because we have a breakthrough and it makes us like high for a moment. But those highs only last for a second and they don't integrate, which also prevents us from reaching bigger income months, from reaching consistent income months, from reaching consistency in our business. So the key here is not only do I want you to hear what I'm saying, I want you to integrate it into your body. So what you want to do is, as I'm talking, okay, Laura, as I'm talking, you can mimic back to me and tell me about like what you're feeling literally inside your body. Oh, that's amazing, Trisha. So everybody can do this, is you can talk about what you're feeling in your body as I'm speaking. So oftentimes we will try to make our brain make too much sense of things, and then it will prevent our message from going through. But let me see if I can just tap into you for a moment. So when I feel into your energy, basically what it feels like is like this simmering underneath. It's like there's a bunch of liquid and there's a bunch of energy, and it's kind of hovering around in your knower. Like, you know, there's something big, you know, there's something coming, you know, you're containing a lot, you know, you're holding a lot, and it's exciting. There's a little bit of pressure, and it's also a little bit, like a pull down feeling. Like there's slightly a feeling of not holding back, but being held back. And how I'm feeling like this is water literally in your body, also storing around the hip flexors, and there's tension there as well. And so what we're looking for is, I'm literally reading your energy in your body. I'm not telling you what my human brain thinks about what you have to say. I'm telling you literally the energy. What it's really looking for and what your soul is really wanting to do is open up. Wider, open up, and not only open up, because that is a little crunchy when I tap into you, like, and I feel like a way for you to physically release energy would be to stretch your hip flexors. Like, your hip flexors definitely feel tight. But what we want to do is, like, you learn to, number one, release energy through movement, because it's trapped inside your body. So you can even do like kind of like gyrating motions like this, literally as I do this. Okay, as I do this, you can actually tie that into your body for it to unwind in your body. Okay, so drop down into your heart and connect with me. And then as I'm moving like this, it's like a stirring also that occurs, right? There's a stirring up, and it's like a twisting, and it's releasing energy, it's releasing pressure. And then you exhale. And you have to be able to connect to that, right? And you might receive it in your own way, but there's like a stirring. And even if I do this, now what's happening is all of your past shielding and all of your past coatings is going through your back, through the back of your neck, down your spine, loosening up, creating less tension, less holding on, less overthinking, and then it's coming through like a whoosh. And embracing, and then impacting, bracing, and letting go. So this is a lot easier to do on a Zoom call as well, because then I can actually like hear what you're saying. But in this, now what's happening is it's almost like something has been broken loose. And what I feel now is all this water just like pouring out of you and pouring through you, releasing through your arms, releasing down here, releasing through your stomach, releasing through your spine, through your butt, and it's going through from top down. So it's taking everything that you were overthinking, everything that you were overanalyzing, storing right here in your crown chakra, and it's releasing it. Releasing worry, releasing fear, releasing doubt, releasing, there's some friendship wounding in there. There's some sisterhood stuff. And then there's a need to like cling on to the energy a little bit. There's a need to protect a little bit. There's a need to hover over the heart and wonder like, if you just come down to your heart and like imagine the pink light going through your heart and embracing your heart, and then going through your shoulders, through your neck, through your head, and embracing that. And what it's doing now is it's taking all of that overthinking and those thoughts, and it's actually embracing it with a warmness. It's embracing it with a comfort. And if you tune into that, and you might not feel things in the exact way that I'm feeling it, but what's happening now is there's a washing through that's coming where there's a warmthness that's washing through your body. And then in here, what we're feeling also is like fear of aloneness, right? So here are a bunch of things that are being released through energetic healing. Do you feel I'm about to break through this stuckness? Well, the thing is, already your human brain is, you're trying to find a breakthrough in your brain. And that's the thing that's preventing you and making you feel stuck, right? Because as the energy, if you just tapped into the energy in your body and felt the energy move, that would break you through, right? But what's happening is you're trying to find a human thing to have a breakthrough. But yes, of course you're going to break through the stuckness. Of course, you can't stay stuck forever, right? Okay, so when you feel stuck, what you actually want to do is, instead of trying to get out of the stuckness, and instead of trying to rush through the stuckness and not be in the stuckness, because what your stuckness is, if we actually go a little bit deeper underneath the stuckness, it's a feeling of, there's a feeling there of disapproval. There's a feeling of fighting against people. I feel like it may be also tied to childhood and parenting. But there's a feeling of really wanting approval of others, and in doing so, also really not wanting to feel aloneness. That's what the stuckness is I can't handle the disapproval of others. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a stuckness within myself that I can control, that's easier to manage. Because if I feel like I'm not stuck in relationships with my mom, my dad, my spouse, my whatever, there's what it feels like is when there's a stuckness with a relationship, and this can apply to a stuckness with the relationship with work, with your body, with your parents, with your anyone. Anytime there's a stuckness in relationships, what it feels like is you do the thing where you withdraw. You do the thing where you pull away and you don't say what it is you're feeling. You immediately basically trap yourself with your own feelings and your own harboring judgments. And what you do is you, instead of trying to work through the relationships with people to find a togetherness in that, what you do is you intentionally put yourself alone, because that's easier. So instead of trying to communicate my actual feelings, what I'm going to do is I'm going to intentionally put myself into aloneness so that I don't have to communicate my feelings. And because what my ultimate fear is being with this person in this relationship and that I can't be received. So because my fear is being in a relationship and feeling alone, being in a relationship and not feeling held, being in a relationship and not feeling understood, being in a relationship and not feeling reciprocated, that's my ultimate fear. So what I'm going to do is shut down, and I'm going to purposely put myself into the corner of shame, resentment, yada, 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 fear, so that I don't have to feel the discomfort of trying to fit in with this other group, with this other standard, with this other thing, right? And the reason why this is coming up is because this is a thing that's blocking you in your business and in your life from being able to receive overflow, right? So it's about being able to come out of your shell, being able to step out of that aloneness, being able to handle the potential that you could be judged amongst others while staying in it. Because what I'm feeling like is you will feel those. You will often feel the judgments of others, or you will often feel something that's going on, or you will often feel that you are being judged. And I do feel like you are correct on that. There is a lot of judgments out there. And so that gets very uncomfortable and you can't handle it. So what you do is you dim down and you shut down, right? So the challenge would be, can you sit in the judgment of others while trusting that that's not your truth? Can you sit in the judgments of others while trusting and knowing that you're on the right path and you don't need a confirmation of them or an agreement of them in order to do that? But if we get really honest, what you're really wanting, it's not even actually about the judgments per se. It's more about what you're really wanting is to connect with people, because Like we all know, the strongest energy always wins, right? And what I feel is if you had enough amazing people, friendships, spouses, girlfriends, mentors, peers, if you had enough of that in your life, that energy would be the stronger one and it would take over. Therefore, you would feel like you're able to handle the judgments of others better. And what your soul is really wanting here is this like collaboration of teamwork for you to feel like you're not doing it alone. But what you keep doing is literally the opposite, and putting yourself into aloneness so that you don't have to feel the uncomfortableness of meeting new people, of fitting into a group, of being in a conversation that you don't know if you're part of, like that kind of thing. So there's like this one hand of like, I want so badly to like be part of a community and like have these amazing girlfriends and like who I can share with and who I can laugh with and like not worry about if I'm saying the proper thing or if I'm saying it high level enough, if I'm saying it phrased properly enough. Like that's why you're here. That's why you're on this live, because that's specifically kind of the thing that I help people free. Like I don't care about your fucking enlightened version of your question. Please, for the mother of God, Jesus, just talk normally. Please just talk normally. Like, I don't want to hear about your fucking alchemizing 37th degree to the 27th disintegrating the manifestation in the fragmentation of the universal law of integrity. What the fuck did you just say? I don't know what the fuck you just said. Like, I don't know what the fuck you just said. Can you just say it like a normal human being? Do you know what I mean? So like, can we all just be our fucking selves, please? Can we all just take down the spiritual hoity-toity languaging and like just talk normally? And I'm not saying don't talk spiritual. Like I actually get all that wording, and some people, that's the natural way for them to talk. And if that's the natural way for you to talk, then talk like that. But like, don't think of the fancier version of what you're thinking in your head and then like give us the fancier version. Do you know what I mean? Just fucking stop trying to be high level and just be regular so I can understand what you're saying. No, Laura, no. Okay. Laura, what I'm saying is, I wasn't saying you were doing that. Oh, I was not saying you were doing that, by the way. That was not at all. You're the opposite of that. So what I feel like what you really want and what would be amazing in your life is to just be yourself, right? Without feeling like you have to change yourself when you go to post online. This is what I'm more getting at. So what happens is, we'll see like different things going on, right? And what I feel for with you is you'll feel something really boldly. Hi, Amanda. And you'll be so certain about it. And then something happens when you go to post it online and you deflate it just a little bit. You dim it down just a little bit and you might not even notice you're doing it. And it might be that you professionalize it, or it might be that you feel like you're polishing it up. But there's an insecurity that comes forward when you go to, there's not an insecurity when you're thinking it and feeling it. It's when you go to communicate it and put it out there, something happens. And the message gets changed and it gets diluted when you go to communicate it. So I don't know if that is like an overthinking thing. I don't know what that is, but when I relate it to the other vision that I had with you of the just wanting to be apart, I think what's happening is there's just a lot of different people's messages, ideas, this and that. And it's almost so much information that it's almost overpowering like your own message and truth. Not purposely, but it's like making it hard to tap into yourself. Yeah, so here's the challenge that I would come up for you. Make a post and don't do any edits and just post it. That's the challenge. That's the hotness challenge. Hi, Jay. Hi, Devin. So that will be your thing. the way that you would say it to your best friend of 15 years, say it like that. The way that you would say it behind the scenes to your private coach, say it like that. So don't polish the post. Don't add something different to the post. Don't be smarter in the post. Like, don't re-edit the post. Just say it how it comes. Do you know what I mean? And what that will do is it will help you to sharpen yourself. So the editing you're using to actually make the message more clear, but it's doing the opposite and it's making it more boring. That's the thing that I feel like it's flattening out the energy. And I'm not saying that based on any posts that you've made. Like, I haven't read one of your posts and thought it was boring. That wasn't it. But what it feels like is when you edit it, it takes the energy, which is normally like this, like there's peaks and spikes in your posts for what you say, and it takes the energy and does this. That's what happens. It flattens it out and it neutralizes it. So that's what my feeling is. So if you, and part of the reason why we do that is because our human brain is getting in the way, right? Like, our human brain is the thing that's going in to edit because we don't trust that our message was portrayed properly or clearly enough. So if you were going to do something with me, what I feel for you is like private coaching for sure, where we walk through you going down into your heart center and sharing from there as the purest, rawest, most truest version of you. That's going to be that is your next step. That is your next step, your purest, rawest version of you. And although we feel like we're always in it, there's always another level. Like for me, for everybody, there's always another level of rawness. So what we're looking for is, instead of an edit, we're looking for a vulnerability. That's what we're looking for, because so that people can connect with that instead of connecting with your edit. Do you know what I mean? So the other thing you would want to look at is like, do I edit myself anywhere in life? And of course we all have to know like a time and a place and things like that. But I do feel like there's a more lighthearted version of you that is and will come through when you do that. I did this yesterday and got likes and loves from a few rock star coaches. That's amazing, Jane. So if I was going to talk from your truest vulnerability, Laura, like if I was going to actually like look at your soul and express your soul, it might look something like saying, sometimes we go through periods of feeling just kind of alone or feeling a little bit scared, but also knowing that we're on the right path and knowing that everything that's coming is made for us. And it's not that we don't trust, but there's some wobbles in the trust. It's like we're surrounded by love and light, but yet we aren't fully feeling it inside of us. Like we're warm yet cold. We're scared yet held. And when you're going through times like that, this is the time that what you do is you drop down into your body and you hold your own warmth when you feel like there's nobody there to really give you that embrace and that hug that could comfort you in that very moment. And it can be a little bit confusing, and it can be messy, and it can sometimes feel like doubt, and it can sometimes feel like failure, and it can sometimes feel like success. And what we're all really looking for is these beautiful friendships and mentorships where we're able to weave our energies into one another. Private coaching, open now. That's what I would say if I was your soul. Right? And sometimes your soul isn't feeling deep like that. That was like the deeper version. Yeah. So that's probably why I gave that metaphor, right? When you're longing for a hug, that's very much a physical representation of being held and feeling okay and feeling warm. Do you notice how I kept saying warm with you? That's why. So if we were to do something like, I feel like for you, it would be private coaching, 10 days for 1111 or 1 month for 3100. This is something I could walk through with you for. Hi, Laura. My look is like super retro today, right? This is today I'm sporting my regular natural hair. So who else would like to, let's go into our next reading. So who else would like to have a healing / reading on them? Why don't we all go into, and really my intention here is for us to feel each other, right? What's 1111? Oh, sorry. My private coaching package, which is 1,111, is a 10-day Voxer package where we talk back and forth. So you bring whatever you want to the table, and then I come back at you and we ping pong off each other. So we can talk about your posting, we can talk about your healing, we can talk about anything like that. And then there's the mastermind, which is 10 days for 444. Okay, Shalamita. We had a call before, right? You changed your profile bubble, so I don't recognize the bubble, but we had a call before, right? Okay, so let me just tap into this. So what I want to ask everybody who's on this, cool, is what's the next thing that you're really wanting in your life? And what I would like for you to, Shalamita, is the letting go of and the dropping down of the masculine energies. Okay, so there's still there's a lot of shielding, not a little bit. There's a lot of shielding. And it feels like what's happened is you've built up this strength, both inner and outer, right? Like this very internal core system of like, this is who I am, and you're not going to change my mind about who I am. And that's true. We don't want to change our mind about who we are according to what somebody else says or their version of the truth. But in doing that, what's happening is there's also a shielding of the woman that you're becoming. So there's a lot of blocking off energy, and there's a lot of like dodging energy and like throwing energy back at people and like doing this and like this. And it takes up a lot of energy to do that, even though it might feel effortless. You know that there's a simmering underlying frustration that comes with that. And the next challenge for you would be, and I know that it would be easier for me to tell you something maybe in your business, but we all know that that's not what this is about. The next challenge would be is like, can you let people just throw a punch at you? I know it's like, fuck that, I'm going to throw one right back, right? So for people who are fiery, we will fight to the death. You want to come at me with a punch, I'll knock your head right off your motherfucking shoulders, bitch. Can you soften that piece of you? Can you do that? While knowing that you get to throw that haymaker anytime that you want to. For you, strength is the easy thing. It's the softness that's the hard thing. So what we do is we trick ourselves with the boldness. You know, we trick ourselves that we're being vulnerable because we're being bold with our truth, but it's actually not true. The boldness is the easy thing for people like you and I. That's not the vulnerable thing. That's the easy thing. The putting the body out there and putting the bold message out there and the talking with the punch, that's the easy thing. That's the thing that thrills us. That's the thing that we get high off of. That's the adrenaline rush. So even when I tap into that, hi Nicole. Even when I tap into that, when we feel it, when you tap into what that feels like inside your body. So as I'm talking, what I would encourage you to do is like actually feel the vibrations of what I'm saying going into your body. Right? Like you can feel how it's like calming things, and you can feel that there's always this, like, for you, your nervous system is just like, but you might not notice it because you've probably been like living and thriving in that kind of like atmosphere for a long time. Especially with what's going on in the world, that just fuels it. So like, it's literally when I go into your body, what I legit feel is just like this immediate, like, I'm aware. I'm aware and I'm standing here and I'm prepared for anything. And there's this constant, I'm never going to be off guard. You will never get me down. Never. And there's never like, what's really wanting to come through is like, if you didn't feel like you had anything to prove or anyone to fight, you wouldn't have to use all that intention to brace yourself for what the world has to say in response to you. Because it's not like you're like that everywhere, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to think about who you are with your kids and who you are with like your husband, who you are when the camera's off, who you are when you're not on social media, and how you're not fierce at all there. You're soft. When you're talking to the best friend or the friend that you haven't seen in 10 years that you're genuinely excited. When you're laying by the pool and you've got your sun hat on and your sunglasses on and your only purpose is to like have a tan, that's actually you. That's you when you're fully in your soul. So when you're putting the guard up and you're putting the fierceness up, and I know this because I'm the queen. I was the queen of this, working on it. It doesn't let people see that actually the best side of you is not your boldness. I mean, we love that side of you. We absolutely love that side of you. But like, she's already seen. She can't not be seen. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you're laying by the beach. And so what happens then is this stiff blocking feeling that you have that's like uptight, and you can feel when you get stiff, when something is a no to you in your body, like, no, I don't agree with this, immediately the shoulders come up for you specifically, and the jaw tensions, the jaw gets tight. So this is something really cool that you can practice even when you're with like your husband or your kids, is like when you talk, when you start to feel your jaw go tight, then you know you're not in your soul. You're in your anger and you're in your frustration, right? So as you actually like learn how to let that fall down. So when you tap into just receiving my energy and receiving my words, there's like a simmering that happens inside your body. So bring yourself down into your body and feel my words and how your body's reacting to them. And it's like a simmering, and it's almost like, you know, when snakes like shed a layer, or like if a pot has been exploding for a very long time, like having this really intense explosive energy, and it's been like boiling and boiling over and boiling over, and you just turn it down a notch so that it's still hot and it's still warm and it's still effective and it's a good temperature, and still nobody can just come along and take from you. Because this is what it's stemming around, is like people who think they can just take your energy or take what you have to say or take your book or take from you. It's like, oh, fuck no, you're not taking shit from me. And then that energy, you can immediately feel. When I say someone taking from you, notice what happens inside your body. So as I'm just talking to you, right? And as I'm talking and as I'm slowing down my speech, and everybody should be listening to this, not just Shulamita. Everybody should be paying attention to how they receive my words inside their body. Slowly as I'm talking, it's like that black shield that I seen in your body, which showed as like literally like just like a black thing where nobody can get in, nobody can read you, nobody can hurt you. What's happening is it's then turns into a sheet. So it's now having flexibility. So I can see like my element of air, like I'm entering your body as the element of air, and it's kind of waving the sheet, and it's showing you, okay, let's just wave the sheet around. Let me feel the air. Let me feel it ride through my body. And and you notice how it's a feeling of nakedness almost. It's a feeling of judgments being released. That's beautiful. So the wind is actually synchronizing with literally how I just went. Do you see how externally the environment just sunk up, literally with my words and my energy as I was doing that? And the crazy thing is you can't feel that unless you soften. That is invisible when you have the hard shield. So your thing is going to be taking down that guard. It's safe to take down that guard. The easy thing is to fight for you. That's the easy thing for you to do. The easy thing for you to do is stand up for yourself. The easy thing for you to do is fight back. The easy thing for you to do is say your piece. That's not the challenge here. The challenge here is, do you know how to sit with your feelings without immediately blah? And again, I'm the queen of this, so I know this because I went through all of this, right? That's weird that you say that about avoiding the fight, because that is not the energy at all. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, this is crazy. Okay, so the thing is, you don't want the fight, but you expect the fight. That's what it is. It's not that you want to have a fight, but because you expect the fight, that's why the shield is up. It's not like, haha, I want to fight you. Everybody, I want to fight you. But because you expect the fight, what's happening is not even consciously, probably accidentally, when you talk, not every time, when you expect people to disagree with you or fight with you, it doesn't matter what you say, it's going to come off as aggressive. It will. I know, because I went through this. I went through all of this, like expecting the crusty assholes to not like me, expecting somebody on the internet to say something. And so in expecting that, what I had to do was create this like real fierceness in me that could handle anything, because of the girl who said I was getting fatter. Fuck you, bitch. You're getting fatter. Drop into my DM to tell me I'm getting fatter. Go find something else to do. So you can still have that sassy side of you, but it's about like, I don't need to just laugh it off instead of wanting to punch your lights out. Do you know what I mean? Like, people like us are never just gonna lay down and take it dry. Like, that's never gonna happen. So can we change the fighter? Like, can we change the edge of the sword to like, this is just funnier. This is just funny. Like, at the moment when you accidentally dropped into my DM because you were trying to forward my Instagram story to your friend to say she's getting fatter, like, in that moment, I was about ready to knock your head off your motherfucking shoulders. You dumb bitch. You want to say that about me? Let me see your Instagram video. But now that I'm like over and healed from it, it's just like, you're fucking fat. Fuck you. You're fat. You want to call me fat? You're fat. Fuck you. Like, we're not supposed to say the word fat. Oh my God. Nobody say the word fat. Like, ugh. Yeah, that is a true story. That is a true story. So I don't know how that was supposed to be healing, but I think the point was, is like, life doesn't have to be that serious. Life doesn't have to be serious. Some people are going to think you're fat. Some people are going to think you're ugly. Some people are going to think you're the most beautiful thing that they ever seen on the internet, right? So it's like just allowing yourself to just be soft, because the thing is, when you're not expecting it, it hurts more. It stings more. And I know this because I just went through this. So as you soften, because I know that you've been doing a lot of work on this, but it's weird because like when I see your energy and what it shows me when I see this, it's like you always have that kind of like black sheet, and the softening is like the black sheet is now in the wind. And the next step will be when you can like drop the black sheet down. And we don't know that we're doing this, right? And what it comes down to is like being able to not expect that people are gonna lash out at you, not expect they're gonna disagree with you. It's because when you expect it, it doesn't hurt as bad. When you expect it, you've got to come back ready. When you expect it, it doesn't, but the thing is, and you get to just feel angry and frustrated in it instead of like hurt, right? When you actually allow yourself to be vulnerable and super open, and then somebody doesn't like you when you're being soft, prepare for the pain of that. That hurts like a motherfucker. It's not that fun, but it's worth it. It's worth it. What else are you going to do? Just go through life like a hard ass? Like, I mean, you can do that, but it takes a lot more energy. So once you learn how to be soft and to be vulnerable, the punches knock you on your ass. They do. It sucks. And then you just get up again and you talk to the girls on the live about it, and you're like, whew, that sucked. That fully sucked, but here I am. Maybe you're going to have a cry about it. Maybe you're going to have a public breakdown on Facebook Live like I've done before. Maybe that's going to happen. But aligned with prosperity codes yesterday. But Shilamita, so what I feel like for you is it's going to be a process. And it has been a process. Like, I know you're always working on yourself, and I know that you're putting yourself out there. And because I know a bit about your story and like what you told me, I know that that takes a lot of strength and vulnerability. And it's not like you're not doing it, but it's really about like that next layer unraveling for you. Absolutely, for sure. Feel the feels. Some men like fat girls, so it could be a compliment. Yeah. The annoying part was like the girl who did that wasn't a local, like from my town, entrepreneur, and she was mortified when she sent it to me. Like, she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I meant to send that to the person beside you. Because you know how in Instagram stories you can go to like forward to it? But what she did is she sent it to my inbox instead. And so she sent to my inbox by accident, she's getting fatter. And like, I thought I looked amazing. I don't know, maybe I was like I don't know, maybe I had an extra 5 pounds on me. Could be true. Maybe I ate some extra chocolates. And then she instantly like unsent it, but I had already seen it. And like, she's a business owner. And she was mortified that I seen it. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I had so many sassy remarks that I could have made. Like, well, I'm glad you sent that to me and not the person beside me, because at least I can handle it. Because I'm pretty sure if you sent that to any other woman on the earth, she would spend 2 months crying. So like, thank God it came to me. And so I just like festered about it a little bit. And then I texted all my friends about how she's a bitch. And then I gossiped about her for a little while. And then I got over it. I didn't go post about her on the internet. I didn't create a thread about her on Facebook to bash her. I went to my safe place. I called her a dumb bitch. And I got the hell over it. Do you know how much healing there is in just calling somebody a dumb bitch? Do you know how freeing it is to do that, to just allow yourself to hate somebody instead of thinking that you have to feel spiritual about it? Like, I'm not going to convince myself that I feel something spiritual when I hate you. I hate you. I know how to feel somebody's soul. Like, I can literally see anybody on the internet, and I know how to like tap in with my gifts and feel their soul, but that doesn't mean I like your personality. That doesn't mean I like who you are as a human being. I can't stand who you are as a human. I think you're fucking annoying and boring. How about them apples? I'm not going to pretend to say the enlightened version of how I'm supposed to feel about you. Like, fuck that. I hate you. I'm sorry if that's not inspiring, but that's my way to heal. Literally, my way to heal anger is just letting myself hate people and saying, I don't like her. Unfollow her. Like, I don't need to change my mind about it. Dude, yes, this is so much freedom in being honest about not liking someone. Yeah. Because here's the thing. I think because I don't know why this is coming up, but like recently I have had something like, I have had people who gave me bad vibes from the second they got close to me. Not in my business or anything like that. Like, you know how sometimes you just have a feeling? Like, you can just feel, what are you doing right now? Like, is this a strategy? Like, this feels weird. I'm like, okay, cool. It's kind of weird. Moving on. And then another thing happens. And then another thing happens. And then you're like, you feel like I don't like you. And then you kind of try to like convince yourself that you like them. Okay, like I'm going to grow up. Let me just be mature about this. Let me like look at myself, like what's going on with me? Why do I like, clearly I'm feeling away. Why do I feel this way? Am I jealous? Is it this? Is it that? And then waste a whole bunch of time trying to figure out why I don't like the person. And then waste a whole bunch more time like making effort to change that idea of what I believe, what I feel. And it just makes me hate them more. Like, here I am trying to like the person, but each time I try to like you, I hate you more. It just becomes so much more obvious that I hate your personality. And so for me, what it is like, I just can't stand coolness. I can't stand coolness. Like, can you just not try to be cool? Like, I can tell that you're trying to be cool and that you're saying like the calmer thing of what you're supposed to say. But I know that you don't actually feel that. Like, I can tell, and it just feels fake. And so like, I'm not going to respond to you with fakeness and like create a fake ass fucking connection, friendship, whatever you want to call it. Like, I'm just going to say, I don't like the person, and I'm just going to not engage with them at all. I'm not going to try to create a connection, because sometimes this is like people in your actual life. Do you know what I mean? Like, it can be anything from someone on the internet to a family member to an old best friend to somebody like this can show up everywhere in your life. And the problem that we do is we don't just give our permission to be human beings and just not like people. Like, I'm allowed to not like somebody's personality. Like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. And it doesn't make me less spiritual to say, I hate that bitch. Absolutely, I get this. I ask myself these exact questions, and it's just a knowing inside me that our souls don't belong. Yeah. And this is the other thing is I used to do the thing where I would like kind of like shame myself or try to force myself to heal something that I don't even truly really want to heal. Do you know what I mean? So like, I would try to force myself to see things from the other's point of view, or like, I'm like, okay, like this person maybe, okay, so what is it really? Like, what is it? If I go deep down into my soul and I ask myself, what is it about this person? Like, is it that I don't like their version of the truth? And I'm like, that's not even it. I literally just hate your personality. Like, I just hate your mannerisms. I hate the way that you talk. I hate your idea of what, like, I just hate it all. And it's not even about your truth, because it's literally a personality thing. And that is our humans, right? Like, our humans I just don't think it's a natural thing for all our humans to like get along with everybody. I just don't think that's a natural thing. And I think that we try to force ourselves to be more spiritual about it than it needs to be. If we just all had bitch freedom to hate the people that we hate, and hate is a strong word, right? We don't want to use, like, it doesn't feel good to not like people, right? But if we could just let ourselves off the hook for not feeling enlightened about something and just allow it to be, life would be actually a lot easier. That's what men do. That's what men do. That's why men can get a fist fight and then shake hands after and walk away and be like, yeah, we're all good men. Like, men can do that. But women make it something like so much bigger than it needs to be. Okay, so back onto like healing. So we were going to talk about like who wants bitch healing? Who wants witch hazel bitch healing? Let's just free the bitch, okay? Let's just free the bitch. Who wants some bitch healing? Discernment with others is important. Think about it. There are billions of people in the world, and we'd be healing billions of times every time we connect with people we don't click with. This is such an empowering conversation. I know, like, bitch freedom is empowering. We don't have to like each other, and it's okay. And we know how to respect one another. Just because we really don't like someone, like, I'm not going to go start commenting on people's Facebook things if I don't like them. I simply just unfollow them. It's really that simple. Or I just don't listen. I just don't read the post. I don't need to go and tell them that I think differently about it. And I also don't need to tell them like, hey, I hated you 10 minutes ago and now I like you. I don't need to say that either. Like, I don't need to tell somebody if they triggered me at first and now they don't trigger me and like I'm thankful for them. Like, I don't need to say that either. I don't need to say any of that. We can all just be. Okay, so who wants to have a reading on them next? And we're going to go into like actually being able to receive energy in our bodies, not just in our human brains. And that's what these Witches Hazel healing sessions are that I'm doing, is it's like actual, because something happens when you get on a Zoom call. Do you know what I mean? When you get on a Zoom call and you actually have like that focused, potent attention on you, there is something more magical that happens. But where we go wrong with our mentors and stuff is we'll get on a Zoom call with them and we'll ask them about the goal that we're trying to achieve, or we'll ask them about like the result that we want. And it actually is a distraction from the energy that's right in front of us that we're meant to deal with. So if we can just trust that the vibration that's going through our body right now is the thing that needs and wants healing, and be able to look at that and trust that whatever we get from that will be the thing that takes us to the next level. This is the difference between healing and coaching. So coaching tends to be a lot of like talking, saying intelligent things, giving information. Healing is more of like being in an energy together and going through something together. Do you know what I mean? And I do both. So sometimes it'll be a client talking, and we all do this with our clients, right? So a client will riff or talk, and then we will have an intuition about the thing that they said and like pick out what they said and then mirror it back to them. Healing feels a little bit more like we're sitting here and we're connecting in an energy, and I'm actually teaching you how to go down into your body and read it and bring forward your gifts into the world. So then it's not us having to like repeat these same lessons of the income dips, of the no engagement, of whatever it is, the relationships that are crumbling. The reason why that happens is because we're not embodying the message. So this is the thing that we are wanting to really like tap into. So everybody who's here, okay, put a comment or a like, and then I can talk to you about and read your energy about how I feel that you receive energy, and maybe like what I feel like your gifts are to the world. So, because the more that everybody says, the more I can see who's still here, because I don't want to like go into readings of people who aren't here anymore and this and that. So if you can do that. So I seen like Trisha's here, and I can see Shilamita's here. So I'm so sorry if I keep saying your name wrong. And Carlene. So Carlene, for you, for your gifts to the world, what you really are is like this tickle. Okay, so literally when I see your energy, it comes through as feathers and it comes through this tickle, and it takes things that would have been awkward to say or uncomfortable to say, and it kind of just like tickles the body so gently and makes it come out in a really fun, flirtatious, lighthearted, like it's not a big deal, but it's sort of embarrassing way. And then when that happens with your clients, they release like, oh my God, I can just say that, like that felt so good to say. And then you're just like, yeah. And then you're just being yourself. And they see how they can put down what they had to say to you. And you can literally just like tickle the space and somehow take everything that they've said, and your feathers, which is your energy, comes in there. And you also have the element of air in your gifts as well. So the step number one for how your gifts work is that the energy comes in, the person says the thing, and then your feathers of your energy come in and they tickle all of what the actual truths are. So in the tickling of what their actual truth is, underneath the fear, the holding back and whatever, that just drops away and it doesn't even need to be looked at. And what comes to the surface is the tiny little funny intricacies that are so magical. And then step number two, once that's done, once you've been able to drop the really heavy stuff, you have this like circular air motion that comes in. It mixes up the energy and it takes all of the desires, the tickles, the playful energy and gives it a direction. And then you hand it over to them and they express it to the universe. So then you guys, but your energy is always there. So you work with the client, you put your effortless, flirty energy on it. And even when they post for their clients, it's also bringing clients to you. So that's how beautiful your gift works. So do you guys notice how I'm talking in energetics, but I'm also talking in human? And this is one of my specialties, is like some people feel and some people think, right? And so when you're able to do that, like I literally feel like I'm in a tunnel with you guys. And if anybody can actually sync up to the vibration of our tunnel right now, you're going to get something so much more profound out of this live. So Carlene, if you were to do healing sessions with me, oh my God, that would be amazing. That would, oh, that feels so good. Carlene, if you did the Witches Hazel one, which is the 3 calls, it's 3 60-minute calls for 1,111, which does require you to be on Zoom. And I know how you are about schedules, but it would be like, it would be so fun. It would be so amazing. Okay, so next, Udi, if you're Udi, for you, for your gifts, it's very, it's crazy because they're kind of like unexpected and they are very crisp, right? So for Udi, for you, it's like, it really feels so refreshing and it's like a regeneration. So your gifts are coming forward externally in environment and they come forward with like a whoosh, like there's a lot of power when you come into the room. There's a lot of power when somebody steps into your presence and it's like this whoosh. So when you come in and you like put your magic, it literally like blows my hair back and I'm like, oh, what was that? This is what happens. Okay, so I get hit with your energy and I'm like, whew, I'm free. What was that? And I'm like, wait a second, what was that? What was that? And now I'm like trying to make sense. Like, what did she just do? I don't know what it was, but it was really cool. But like, can you do that again? What was it? So it's like your gifts come through and they have a big pow to it. They've got a lot of power to it. And so how that works is like it really gets people's attention and it knocks them off their feet. So what it also does is it can like stun people into taking their guards off because they're so kind of like enchanted by like what you just did and what you just made them feel. It's almost this feeling of like gently beheading somebody almost. So once that initial pow hits, which is like the first time they connect with you, it's like this initial pow, and then they get to decide, okay, do I like this woman or not? So maybe they came across you on the internet. The step number 2 that comes is this really beautiful, like cleansing energy. So it's like cool and it's calming and it's crisp. It's almost like the perfect autumn day. Like how it's being shown to me is imagine walking down a trail and it's just like complete connectedness. Like when you're connected to the sounds of the rocks under your shoes. And like, although the air isn't necessarily like, it's not like a warm, that's not the word. It's like very alive. It's very stimulating. It's very crisp and it's meant to make you aware. And it's like when you're in an environment like that, you just can't be aware. It's like it just takes away all of the things that don't matter and it just focuses on what actually matters and what the real impact is and the little things and where you are right now. And then all of a sudden, magically, on the trail ahead, there's like a golden bracelet or like something really cool. Do you know what I mean? Bye, Shilamita. Gently beheading someone. Okay, so Bonnie, for your gifts, when you receive gifts or when you give your gifts to the world, it's very clear. It's very straightforward. You're welcome, Udi. You would do amazing with the Witch Hazel readings too. Like with the Witch Hazel healing sessions, it would bring what I would work with you on is like that initial gentle beheading that comes forward. There's something more in that for you. There's another way that's going to be added. Like I like your gentle beheading, but there's another piece of your gift that's more powerful that we could lead with. And that's the thing I would work with you on in the Witches Hazel healing sessions. So that's 3 60-minute sessions for 1,000. Okay. So Bonnie, yours is very straightforward. It's very like, okay, this is who I am. This is, what is beheading? Beheading is like in the olden days where they would chop somebody's head off. I don't know why I used that metaphor, but what it is like, okay, let me go a little deeper into that. Because the initial way that your energy hits people is it like knocks them back. Like literally I just see my head going like, ping! And then it's like, okay, I can't ignore what just happened. Like I can't ignore how I just seen Udi on the internet. I can't ignore what she just said. I can't ignore her just coming into the room. But also at the same time, like, is there another way to connect? Like there's a deeper way of connecting that's also powerful that can be received better. Okay, so this is what I feel like is your message is being heard, but it's not fully being received. It's being heard, it's being felt, but it's not being integrated in everybody. So that's the thing that I would work with you on. And the reason why is because also usually when there's things not being integrated in our audience or our clients, it's because there's something we're not integrating as well. So there's a new method and a new healing modality that'll come forward. So Bonnie, if you're still here, what I was saying with you is that yours is very straightforward. There's not a lot of room for like misinterpretation. It's kind of like, okay, well, this is how it is. And one of your gifts too is to be able to come into like maybe a heightened situation and kind of like flatten the energy in it. So you have this ability to go into an environment that maybe could be scary to a lot of people or could feel aggressive to a lot of people, and you're just like, meh, and you just come in and then you just are. That's the cool thing. So I feel like I feel like this probably comes out with your family and your kids. It's like you have like this ultimate, like just I am. And it's so safe to be around. Like it's so calming to be around you when, let's say, I'm feeling elevated or I'm feeling anxious or I'm feeling angry or I'm feeling a certain way. This is your gift, is like you take people's nervous systems and you just like, whew, And then it's like stability. Like, I am, we are. It's really not this, I'm trying to be. It's really not this, like, because I feel like your message is very strong. Who you are is strong. Who you are is obvious. And but that's not the gift. The gift is that you're not trying to be like that. You just are. You're not trying to be strong. You're not trying to be bold. You're not trying to be loud. You're not trying to be outspoken. It's just this, like, I just am me. It's just this, like, ultimate, I just am. That's what it is. So if you were going to do something with me, I actually feel like a 10-day one-on-one would be really cool with you through Voxer, which is 1,111. Or what would bring a lot of laughter as well, because I feel like you'd be so funny to laugh with, is if you came into the mastermind. Like, I just know that we would and we all would get along very well in that. So the mastermind is 10 days for 444. 30 days for 1,111, or 3 months for 1,111. The 10-day one-on-one is exactly what I'm working towards. Cool. Yeah, that'll be amazing. And it's all like intuitively channeled and everything. It'll be so good. The mastermind sounds amazing. You would love the people, like, you would love my people. You would love my people. I can just tell. Okay, so who else wanted, was it Trisha? Yes, I love the way you communicate. Trisha and Laura, I think, wanted to tap into their gifts. So the really cool thing is that the way healing sessions go, like, I am such a big believer on healing sessions now, like, so much more than, I'm not going to say more than coaching. It's just that when you work as a healer versus as a coach, a lot of times when you're coaching, your human tends to run the show. And when you're healing, it tends to be body. Do you know what I mean? So anyways, as you do more sessions like this, like, your gifts come more and more to the surface, because it's one thing to know your gift and it's another thing to actually be able to use it. Like, you can see what I'm doing here. I'm not using angel cards. I'm not sitting here meditating. I'm not tapping. I didn't do a cleanse. I don't take supplements. I did not smell an essential oil. Like, literally, my body is the tool. I am the tool. Like, there is nothing that I need to, like, be who I am and be a healer. And that's because not only do I know my gifts, I know how to use them. So that's the thing that I really want to help people with, is, like, actually, how do you use your gifts? So, yeah. But the thing is, with the healing versus the coaching, a lot of us are healers, but we lead with business because we're afraid, because we think that that's what people want. We think that, okay, well, I have to talk about, like, helping people get to their goal or helping them get the result that they want, because, like, that's what people want to buy. And if I have the secret to people's success, if I have the secret for you to get rich, then that's the thing that's going to make me rich, right? And I just don't think that that is true. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that if we really truly want to lead with the healing, we have to lead with the healing and talk about the healing, and of course there's going to be like, we all know, like, all of us know now that when we're healing, of course, business stuff is going to come up. Of course, something about money is going to come up. Of course, something about the husband is going to come up. Like, of course, all that's going to come up, but we're really not doing it to get rich, although it will help us on the journey for that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to make you rich. I wish I did. I wish I had the secret to make you rich, but what I do know how to do is read you like a motherfucker. I know how to help you bring your gifts into the world, which is going to help you in your business, which will help you get rich. I know how to delayer your human. I know how to pick with my intuition what exactly is going on. I know how to show you how to have a happy, healthy, whole relationship with your husband, your kids. I know how to show you how to have a body that's so hot you can't even explain it. I know how to do all that for you. And I think that you're going to get rich on the way. I hope you are, but like, maybe you're not. Will you still come? When you start offering healing sessions, I felt a stronger desire to have a package. I love that. I love that. So like I want you to get rich. I want us to get rich. Do you know what I mean? But my specialty is my gifts. Like my specialty is bringing your gifts into the world. And the more you bring your gifts into the world, the more you're going to get rich. But like, your focus has to be on your gifts. Your focus has to be like, the other thing I know how to teach people do, which is really cool, is with receiving. I know how to receive somebody's gifts just by thinking about them. And then I have their gifts. Like I can literally think about, like everybody who I've read on this thread, I have a piece of their gift now. And if I want to, like I literally know how to tap into that and use it. So when you're able to do that and you're able to like receive energy like that, then of course I don't see why money wouldn't come with the receiving. Do you know what I mean? So Laura, for your gifts, there's a gentleness and there's a soothing energy to it. So the visual that I see for your gifts is, what I see is you going like this, and it's not taking a lot of effort. This is the key. So anytime that you're feeling like something is taking a lot of effort and you're having to think really hard, this is not you in your soul and in your gifts, because your gifts are supposed to be effortless. And it's weird that I'm burping because your gifts go in through the throat chakra, on me anyways. Sometimes different people will receive them differently, but for you, your gift is in the exhale. Your gift is in when you release things and the way that you release them, your energy goes through and penetrates the other person and allows them to also exhale. So in the time where you release pressure and because I literally see you going, and then as you do that, and you can tap into that, as I receive them, it gives me clarity, it gives me focus, it soothes my throat chakra, and it comes down and it like coats my throat, like anyone who's feeling dry, parched, dehydrated of life, feeling like they're in lack, feeling like they're not enough, feeling depleted. What your gift does is it comes in and it gives them whatever needed to be done. So it comes in and it will heal aggressively all of the different things that the dryness and the wounding and the quote unquote trauma, we want to call it. So it'll come in through the throat and it moves in through the back of the head, through the back of the neck, through the back of the throat chakra. And then as we let it, as I let it like circulate right there, you know what's crazy? What it's doing right now for me is it's actually clearing out any leftover toxins from when I used to smoke like 20 years ago. That's crazy that it's doing that. So not only is it healing my communication, it's healing like physical ailments in my body. It's healing that. Any kind of like flakiness. And I can feel that I've maybe got a little bit of flakiness and dryness in my throat. And what it's doing is it's coming in and it's like adding liquid to that and it's soothing it like putting aloe on a sunburn. It's like, oh, this is just what I needed. This is just what I needed. And it didn't have to be something big. It didn't have to be a big, powerful breakthrough that you gave me. It didn't have to be that I was on the floor crying in trauma and I just needed you to come and pick me up. It was a simple, uncomfortable sunburn that I might have had. that you came in with just the right thing at the right time, and you just were you effortlessly, and it allowed me to, Do you notice how it all goes still after that? And there's a calmness. Do you see that? I love you, Bonnie. And now it's just this ultimate, like, it's like a sunny day, Laura. That's what you are. It's like, not only are you the sunny day, you're the aloe that goes with the sunny day. That's what you are. Would 10-day one-on-one help with acting our psychic gifts? Yeah, we could do that, Scarlett. Scarlett, for you, you know, probably the witches Hazel healing sessions would be better, because then we can talk back and forth. And even a combination of the 10-day of the Voxer with the healing sessions would be amazing, because the way that I do the way that I teach people how to activate their gifts is I get you to do it on me so I can express it back to you what's happening, and then I can show you, okay, I'll like guide you through. I'll be like, okay, you do this. And then I'll be like, okay, and this is how I received that. And I'll mirror it back to you so that you can also have confirmation of like what you're doing. And then I'll teach you how to verbalize that as well. So there's knowing that you have gifts and knowing that you can feel things, but then there's also the ability to like actually maneuver your gifts and actually communicate it back in words. And that's a whole nother level. So Scarlett, if you did the Witches Hazel healing sessions, that would be really epic for your gifts. Beautiful. So as I tap into your gifts, Scarlett, here, what I'm feeling for you, it's very uplifting, very, very uplifting, very motivating, very excitable, very energetic, very deep, very passionate, and it's very intense and fast too. So something really cool, like when I feel your gifts, they literally come in the back through my spine and they just like rocket ship me and skyrocket me. And so it's like you have this super powerful energy to allow people to come into people's life and to really help them skyrocket. And what I would want to work with you on is making that so that doesn't drain you, and being able to let people skyrocket off your energy without having it drain you. Because the way that you're doing it right now, you're not receiving from it, you're just constantly giving it. So people aren't actually absorbing your energy, they're just being taken by it, if that makes sense. Like it's like right now, the way your gifts are working, you're bringing your gifts in and it's like pushing people to the top, like they have to. Like it's like, okay, well, my energy is so strong that you have to succeed when you're with me, but you're not receiving their gifts. So the thing that I would like to, and what that does is it makes it so that you can't actually fuel up. And so then what's having to do is you've created this really beautiful routine, Scarlett, on fueling up through food and fueling up through fitness. And you've created this very healthy, beautiful, vivacious va-va-voom body, which is part of your brand. But it's rough on your gifts. It's rough on your energy. It's rough on your intuition. It's not as satisfying as it once was. And what we're looking is for you to have a place where you don't have to be rough. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to be lifting. You don't have to be like using your strength. So a way for you to use your gifts with less output and more of like being able to just be in them. Do you know what I mean? So because it's very sharp, like it's very sharp and precise and focused, yet also frustrated and a little bit worried and scared. So what happens is because your gifts aren't able to fully, they're not fully expanding because of the worry that, okay, I have to be dedicated to this. I have to be focused on that. I have to take this person. Like there's an over focus on each person instead of like a focus on you and then you being you, and then their energy evolves and transforms. So this kind of like it's like a hardness that's very impactful, but it is hard to digest. Like when I'm trying to receive your gifts right now, it's like sharp sort of. And the sharpness is good, but what we want is your gifts to like be able to expand through the body, to actually integrate into bodies. But there's worry, fear, and excess something that's like preventing it from a full body integration. So it's like, I can feel you, but like your energy doesn't stay with me. It just shoots through me. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't, your energy just goes up my back and shoots out and then it's gone. So what we're looking for is lasting impact, so that when you talk to somebody, say on a live like this, they spend the next 10 days thinking about you instead of just like, huh, that girl was cool to scroll by. That's what it feels like is happening. Like you're seen and felt, like someone's like, say, scrolling through and they're like, they see your picture and then they feel something inside them like, ooh, she's cool or she's hot. And then they simply scroll past and keep going. Because you're only felt for a moment. You're only felt when you're seen. That's what it is. So when people see you, then they feel you. But your energy isn't being felt beyond that. That's what it is. That's what it is. So the Witches Hazel healing sessions in combination, so that's 1,000. And then if you combined that with like 10 days of Voxer chat, or which is 1,111 privately, or 10 days of like mastermind, or 30. Oh, this is what feels good for you. Witches Hazel healing sessions. That's 3 sessions that are 60 minutes for 1,000 and 1 month of the mastermind. That feels really good. The mastermind is 1,111. So then not only do you have the healing and the focused attention on you and your gifts, but then also we can talk back and forth about the steps and journey through your business and like launching and branding, and everything is all channeled and intuitive in there as well. So not only are you receiving my gifts, but you're also creating an energy box for you to integrate them, because this is what's needing to come through for your clients, to not just be felt in the moment that you're with them, or felt in the moment where you're talking to them or they can see you. And then the second that you leave, they just fall off the wagon, or the second you're not there, they just flail back into old routines, or the second that you don't post online, nobody notices you. Like that's the thing that we would want to work on with you, is not just feeling energy, but containing it and holding it in your body. Because there's always an urge to like scroll off and start something new. Like there's an urge to like constantly launch. So that's what we would want to work on. Instead of just like constantly throwing energy out there, like actually having your gifts received. There's a difference between throwing your energy out there and people receiving your gifts. That's what we would want to work with. Okay, who else? Put a heart if you want me to tap into you, or comment something. Also, for those of you who are on here or have had readings, I would love it if you share the video and like comment shared. That would be amazing. Can you put, okay, the hearts all came at once, so I didn't see everybody who did them. Okay, so Kelsey and Danielle and Monet. Okay. Oh, and Nicole. So I'm going to do Nicole first, because she actually said it quite a long time ago. So Nicole, on your gifts and like what you have to offer as a human being to the world, is it's really about the small things for you. It's really about simplicity for you. Okay, so what's coming up for me is like the dream relationship. It might not be necessarily about specifically your gifts, but also like what you can bring out in a person, which I feel like is like the simplicity of who they are beyond work, who they are beyond the rat race of life. And what happens is, because you have such an open, honest, like straightforward, like non-judgmental. I've never met anybody less like you're so non-judgmental. So because you have such an amazing, like accepting gift, like your energy comes to me as a full moon. Like it's like a full moon that brings out people's respect. It brings out the best in people. It's like so gorgeous. It really takes everything, like your moon lights up everybody's glow. Like you literally existing in a room full of people makes everybody glow. And then that makes you glow. So like people's happiness just makes you thrive. Like it just really lights you up and brings your powers to surface. So what you want to look at when you're looking at like dating a man or this and that is somebody who literally just makes you happy. Like it's as simple as that. It's not about a checklist. It's not about the car he drives. It's not about the house he lives in or how much he makes. Like literally the most important thing for your soul to thrive, because I feel like you could put anything else to the side and hold space for people to grow with you, is literally, does this person make me feel like I shine? Like when I'm with this person, do I see their shine, and does that make me feel full, bright, and vibrant? Does that make me feel like everything about me, down to my cheekbone structure, down to my freckles, down to my nipples, down to my puss hair, down to my toes, like does my whole body feel lit up when I'm around this person? And that's how you'll know. So that's my thing for you, Nicole. Nicole, you would actually do amazing with the healing sessions. Actually, the Witches Hazel healing sessions, you would do so good with those. The 3 for 1,000. Okay, so Kelsey. So for your gifts to really come out into the world, what needs to happen is a dropping of fear. There's a lot of fear around just like who you are and what you have to offer. And so it's actually really difficult to tap into your gifts because of the kind of like bubble that they're in, because they're kind of in like a bubble of fear. But when I really go deeper into that, and if you were actually to be willing to like step out of your bubble and you were actually willing to like come forward in the world with your gifts, what I would see is like you entering a new phase of your life, you entering into the unknown with pride, with truth, with even if you're like by yourself independently, there's like a knowingness of like, and I trust the next step. And I trust the next step. I might not trust exactly where I'm going. I don't know exactly where I'm going, but like I trust the next step. And so the visual that's coming forward for me is like they're showing me like heaven, and they're showing me like the doorway to heaven, and like you opening the door and like just plunging yourself into heaven and just knowing that a cloud will catch you. Like you're in the sky and you're like, but I'll fall through a cloud. A cloud is just fog. And then you're like, okay, well, here we go. Can I just step out and trust that I'll be caught? Like that's your next step to really unraveling and discovering your gifts and what you have to offer, because it has something to do with like blue light and its openness and its spaciousness, and it's about clearing and cleansing. It's about creating space for people. It's about identifying to them like the blocks that are there, or the things in their life that don't belong, or the things that are out of place that they maybe can't see because they're being overshadowed. They can't see it clearly because they're blinded by love, or they're blinded by fear, they're blinded by suffering. And you simply come in with this like beautiful grace and like wind in your hair, like you're very airy. I don't even want to call it airy. I just want to call it literally open, like open air, for like you're the sky for the kite to fly in. Like that's what I feel like. Your clients or the people are the kite, and you're literally the sky. Like you are the space, and you're coaching them how to let go of the string to the kite so that they can just be free and fly and trust that wherever they go, that they will go, and there will be something that lands, and there will be a time that they land, and they don't know where they're going to land. But you have to be able to hold that space for them of like, wherever you land, like I'll catch you. But that doesn't mean it's not going to hurt. Like the landing might be fast, but the way that you come in is like you make it hurt less. You make it more graceful. You make it more effortless. You make it feel carried. This is the vision that I'm getting now, is like, let's say your client is the kite and she's flying high and you're holding the space, and you're kind of like the air and the space. And as the kite is coming down from the high, because we can't always be in the high, we have real life experiences. So as the client is going through something that feels maybe uncomfortable, you come in and the kite goes like this down. And plop. Instead of like a boulder smashing to the ground. So you bring in a lightness to everything. But in order for your gifts to actually fully come to this world, there is a bubble that you're in that you have to be able to walk out of. Like you're trapped in a bubble. Like I literally see your soul like inside a bubble, and it's just avoiding. It's avoiding, and there's fear, and there's all sorts of stuff in there. I don't know why around it. So what I feel for you would be, where are you? Kelsey, can you also comment below so I know that you're like receiving this? What would be good for you is the mastermind for sure. Feels really good for you because I feel like it's not about a session for you. It's more about longer term support. So the mastermind, which is 30 days for 1,111, that's the thing that feels good for you. Lots and lots of shifting with me being pregnant right now. Got it. Danielle, are you still here? Put a heart if you're still here so I can see. The hearts are faster than the delays. Because I know there was Danielle, and then there was anyone else who wants a reading. Just share the video and comment shared. Yay, Danielle's here. Okay. So Danielle, for your gifts, it's really interesting. It's your essence because your gift is coming through as perfume. It's coming through as rose petals. It's coming through as an add-on. It's coming through as the perfect add-on, the perfect thing to add to your life, like the perfect thing to beautify your life. Like the thing that I'm seeing is, Danielle, you're like, somebody already has the basics, right? Like somebody already has the comfort and the warmth. So like when I'm seeing like your perfect client or like your soulmate client, it's like they're already set up for success. Like they're already in a vision of comfortness, and they know how to be with themselves, and they know how to take care of themselves. And you come in and like add a little luxury to that. Like you're the rose petals that are in the bath that they were already gonna do. So it's really important that when you're working with your clients that they have this sort of like foundation, because you're an add-on, you don't want to be working with people who are like from the ground up. Do you know what I mean? Like you need to be working with people who are at a certain level of their growth and of their self-care. This is what it is. So your soul just smells so good. Your soul looks like rose petals and smells like chocolate chip cookies. Like it's so warm and it's so comforting and like worth it. Like the metaphor that I'm getting for your soul, Danielle, is like the perfect chocolate chip cookie that you know is indulgent and like has butter and sugar in it, but you just know that you deserve it. And like, you just know you're going to make it a whole vibe. Like you're going to go into that bath and you're going to feel the warmness of your souls connecting. And you're going to feel the friendship, and you're going to feel the creation, and you're going to feel this orb that kind of like forms around you guys. And like, even as I talk, I can feel your body receiving my energy. Like it's literally like, it's showing me like your heart and like any pain that your heart has been through, like healed. Like the pain your heart has been through is like the most beautiful thing about you. And so what used to be pain in your heart has like grown into this beautiful lace, like doily thing on your heart. Like your heart looks like a doily. Your heart looks like a beautiful lace doily. Like an intricately self-woven doily that you put so much time and effort into. And it has a beautiful locket in the center. that takes you to a depth where special people get to go. And so like when somebody has the key to that, because it's not that you don't share your heart. It's definitely not that. There's a level of your heart that you share. So then like when someone has the key to your doily heart, get inside your heart, and it's just like, wow, whoa, this is so beautiful. And inside your heart, there's like a candlelit dinner. Okay, so do you guys see how I'm not trying to make sense of what I'm saying to her? Like I'm trusting that what I'm saying to her is landing to her, that her heart is a doily and inside her heart there's a candlelit dinner. So inside there's a personalization key that you give people. So when people have the key to your heart, they get personalized attention with you in a way that they've never seen, felt, received, or felt like they deserved. It's like the thing that they always wanted from a man or a dad or a mom, like they wanted their whole life, you give them in that moment. And they're like, I didn't know this was what I wanted my whole life. Like I had no idea that like I was allowed to ask for this. Like I have so many body tingles. And as you can feel it now, Danielle, going down through your feet and like going through the bottoms of your feet and like kind of like enveloping the toenails, like your toenails. I don't know why. And it's like the steps that you take are like these steps that are so tingly. And here's something crazy that you're going to pick up in your healing modality. Okay, so when you're asking yourself questions, you're playing around with opportunities, and you're playing around with even something as simple as what you want to eat for dinner, I feel like you're to bring your attention to your feet, because feet also represent movement and steps. So when you're thinking about like the next step, the next thing you're going to invest in, the next car you're going to buy, the next house you're going to buy, the next package you want to promote, does it make your feet feel tingly or cold? Tingly is new energy creating. Cold is dead aloneness. So anytime that there's like a fear or anything like that, you might get chills or cold or feel alone. And there it's like, okay, this is a confirmation to like look at this because it is making me feel something. But what would it take for this to feel warm? Because your soul isn't a tingly, cold, refreshing feeling. Your soul is warm and embracing. So when your body feels cold, that's actually not in alignment with your soul. Warmth is in alignment with your soul, warmth and comfort. And the urge and the old pattern that is no longer serving you is to intentionally plunge yourself into the cold thing, to shock yourself into change, or to shock yourself into transformation, or to follow the trigger. Like that method is dead. It's actually not about following the trigger for you. It's about connecting to your heart. You don't need to follow the trigger. Your heart overpowers the trigger. Your warmth overpowers the trigger. So all you need to know is, does this make me feel cold or warm? You don't need to follow the discomfort in order to feel warm. Just go to the warmth and the comfort. You don't have to constantly make yourself uncomfortable to achieve the thing. Do you know what I mean? Like we all get that. Yes, of course, we've got to go through phases of uncomfort. Like we get that. But like there's enough uncomfort in life already. We don't need to constantly just expose ourselves to uncomfort. We can just let the discomfort come. Like we don't need to intentionally follow triggers and follow discomfort. Like that's just annoying, a never-ending life of discomfort. Like can we just allow ourselves to be comfortable? And when the discomfort comes, then we look at it. We don't need to look for places where we feel uncomfortable. We don't need to look for a trigger so we can work through it? Can we just be in the warmth and the sunlight? And can you just be the beautiful rose petal add-on and just give me the key to your doily heart so I can sit at your one table with the candlelit dinner while you present to me the ultimate meal? That's what your soul does. And as far as body integration, Danielle, it comes in as water. You're the water element. So do you notice how I'm telling like a lot of people, some will be air, some will be earth, some will be water. Like your element is water. So it carries emotion to where it needs to be and holds emotion in you and knows how to also like release it. And it makes emotion comfortable. Oh, this is it. Okay. This is the pea in the pod. Okay. So your literal gift is about helping people feel comfortable with emotion and bringing warmth to the discomfort of emotion. So with you constantly going into discomfort with your emotion, that actually takes you out of your gift. It like conflicts with your gift because your gift is to focus on this, making warmth and comfort the stronger energy. Warmth, comfort, relaxation, which allows the body to expand. It's not about throwing someone into the coldness so that they're uncomfortable and then they have to jump in your warm tub. That's the thing that I'm seeing. So like people, you don't want people who are cold and alone and like need to quickly jump in your hot tub. Like that's abrasive and not gentle. What you want is people who want to come into your tub and like hold energy and be in energy and learn how to stay in energy and create that space for themselves. Not just they want to use you for your hot tub. No, I feel like that's happened before. So warmthness automatically helps people become more flexible, right? Like with hot yoga, when you do hot yoga, it goes on to your muscles and then it lets your muscles be that much more flexible. So that's your very special thing. So stay away from the coldness. Stay away from people who feel cold, people who feel like they need an immediate, your immediate energy, like stay away from all that whole vibe. And then constantly when you're asking yourself questions about what to do next, does this feel hot or does this feel cold? Right? And it can feel tingly and it can feel tingly and cool. And then usually that's like, I think I just need to sit on it just a little bit more longer until it's like completely integrated. You know what I mean? So if you were going to do something with me and we were looking for that warmthness, interesting, food freedom acceleration, number one, or group program, food freedom acceleration. That's 1,111 to work on body stuff if you want to work on that. Or mastermind. That's the next one. Mastermind, which is 10 days for 444, or the best one, which feels good and like lukewarm. So you might need to like sit on that for a little while. That's 1,111. Okay. Who else was in there next? Oh, Monet and Hindi. Monet and Hindi, put hearts so I can see that you're still here, so I can read your energy. And anyone else? Who else said that they wanted to tap into their own gifts and being able to receive it? You're welcome, Danielle. Okay, Hindi. I think that was Hindi's bubbles that just came up, right? Andrea and Melissa. Okay. Andrea, your gifts are coming through as a stabilizer. Ooh, this is really cool. So Andrea, what you do is you come in through somebody's foundation and you help them to like have this, You just have this really courageous presence. So you have this like, and Lisa, I'll do you next. Just share the video and comment shared. Okay, so Andrea, you come in as this very powerful. It's crazy. It's like your energy is actually very Egyptian. It's being shown to me in like gold and jewels. So it's very much this like very elegant, very powerful. And I don't even want to say the word fierce. It's more like strong. It's more like beautifully presented. It's like very regal, like your energy is very regal. So what happens with your gifts is they allow people to really feel like the queen of their life. What I feel like you do is you really allow people to own themselves. It's coming in as when your soul comes through, it's coming through as like metallic, and then also flashes of different colors, like a lot of richness and wealth in your vibration. And so it's important for you to feel like that. Like it's important for you to feel good about like your appearance and the way that you present yourself, because when you're not feeling like you are like looking like your best you or feeling like your best you, it'll take you out of your game, and then you won't even want to present yourself. And I think that you're on track with that. Like you can just feel, okay, today is like really not the day to go do that thing. Like I can just tell I'm not gonna do a good job, and then I'm gonna feel pissy about it. And anytime that you're not feeling in alignment, there's this kind of like pissy underlying like queen rage. So what I feel like you help people do is you like help bring out the queen in people. Like you help bring out the side of people who are here to claim what they really are, what they're really here for, what they really deserve. Like it's like you're so clear, or at least your soul is so clear on what she has to offer to the world. But what can happen is when it's not received, it's like annoying. Like, hello, do you have any idea what I have to offer? Like, clearly you don't see how cool I am. Like, I'm super cool. Like, I know you're cool. So as I receive your gifts, Andrea, and if you can like talk with me here, it helps as well. So absolutely true. So as I receive your gifts, they kind of like solidify to me what I always knew about myself. Like they bring in structure, they bring in boundaries of like, I will not be fucked with. Oh, hell no, I will not be fucked with. They bring in like a sass, they bring in like an attitude, but like in a good way. Like I really feel like they help me own my queenness. So, it's this very like, we're doing the damn thing, whether you like it or not. And if you don't like it, and if you don't like it, well, pooey on you. Like, here we go. You can be left behind. So your gifts are like, they're beautiful. They're enchanting. They're really enchanting. I think that's the word that I would use for it. Enchanting. It's a grounded attitude that keeps me embodied in my standards and values. Yeah. And the really beautiful thing is it's not like I'm grounded and I'm better than you. It's just like, I am what I am, and you can be what you want to be. Cool. I don't agree with you. Cool. We don't have to fight about it. Like it's like you're so sure in yourself that you really don't have to prove anything. You really don't need to get caught in other people's journeys. And what that does also is it really helps you to stay on track. It really helps you to stay on track to like, you're so good at like keeping in your lane. And like, this is what I'm doing, and you can come if you want to. But like, I'm not coming over to your lane. You can do your lane. Like, I don't mind your lane, but like, I'm in my lane. I can be very fiery with my delivery, which I've learned in terms isn't for everyone. Yeah, and I feel like you're good with it. Like, I feel like it's a good balance. Like, I do see, like, when I see your communication coming out, I see it as fire, but it's not a destructive fire. It's more of like a trailblazing fire. It's more of like, okay, well, people can see that you're passionate about what you have to say, and they just know, like, cool, don't fuck with her. Like, you can come and try to spray some water on my fire, but it's not going to do shit. It's like that. So I feel like if you were to ever do something with me, the next thing that I feel like, okay, so the next step for your gifts, because you've mastered the fire element, and we're all meant to like actually be able to tap into our gifts, like different elements of it. So what will happen is your gift might not mesh as well with other people who are also fiery. And so the next thing that I see coming through with your gifts, in addition, is the element of water. And so the element of riding waves of emotion, the element of different emotions, different feelings, different embodiment, the element of like being carried by energy, because right now you create a lot of energy. And so the next thing coming through in your gifts would be that. So like, as I talk to you, I can see, okay, this makes so much sense. So when people receive my gifts, each person might receive it differently, right? So like, for example, your gift of fire, when it comes to my body, it lands on my skin and then it falls away. And the reason why is because my energy would be imbalanced if I added more fire to it, because I'm already fire. And so what happens is, if you were to be able to tap into, and so the way that you work well is like people who are air element, your fire like enhances something in them. So you work really good with people who are the element of air and space. I'm working through letting emotions and energy carry me. So that's great. Yeah. So what it does is, when you're mainly only fire, it also limits the clientele that you can work with, because it's clientele who specifically need that thing in you. And that's great. But as you carve through different aspects of your gifts and learn how to hold different energies and ride different energies, you bring different things to different people. So, like if your gift was able to change into like a water or an air, and like change depending on the person, you could reach that much more people. So like, as I watch my energy enter your body, it comes through in the form of water, because that's your next energy that you're needing to work on, is like a cool down phase, because you're constantly in an amp up. You're constantly in excitement, in adrenaline, in motivation, you're always feeling something intense. And so as I feel my energy going through your body, it's matching the intensity, but it's bringing a cool down factor, and it's bringing like a wave of new emotion. So where you might be sabotaged is when things don't feel intense. There's a urge to get bored and walk away. There's an urge to disregard. There's an urge to move on and not follow through with loose ends. There's an urge to go create something new. And so that's fine. You can be bored of things and like move on. But there's something that's wanting to be looked at there, like with the boredom. Like, can you sit in the boredom? That's your challenge. Because the creating thing is the easy thing to do, which also causes you to constantly output energy. Can you sit in the boredom? Because boredom can't last forever. It has to change. But instead of you letting boredom change, you go and create something. So can you let it come to you instead? So learning how to manage energy on another level would be your next step. So if you were going to do something with me, either the Witches Hazel healing sessions, which is 3 Zoom sessions, 60 minutes long for 1,000, or there's a masterclass that I have on this called Infused, which is about riding energy instead of just like being hit with energy, instead of just things coming into your life and you getting blindsided by them, like actually being able to ride them and not just constantly creating energy. That's the next thing that your soul really wants to do. And to maintain energy. So not just constant launching and then burnout or powerful, intense, and then tired. So something that could help you to elongate your energy is doing a longer package. Like if you did like 1 month of even 10 weeks. 10 weeks is the thing that's coming through, but the mastermind is, you would need more than 10 days for sure to calm, to like soothe your nerves. Your nervous system is like quite, and it doesn't even, you don't even have to be stressed out for your nervous system to be vibrating high, but your nervous system definitely vibrates high. So what we would work on is like cooling down your nervous system. And so that would probably take 10 weeks. So anyways, 1 month of the mastermind is 1,111. 1 month of private coaching is 3,100. Even like 3 months of private coaching would be amazing for you to like actually calm your nerves and like transform your soul, transform your human. Who else was that? Feels like where I started processing a few weeks ago, the water thing and sitting in the boredom. I must be right on track. Yes, I get it. Thanks. Yeah, exactly. Okay, who else is here now? Who else was here? Claudia. There was a Claudia. Oh, Lisa. Is Lisa still here? Put a heart, Lisa, if you're still here. Lisa Colburn. I would love for you to tap into my gifts if you feel guided to doing so. Can you guys put a heart if you're still on the live so that I can see who's still on the live? Okay, Lisa. All right, Lisa. So immediately your aura is purple, which of course you put a purple heart. And then there's some density around the past and past coding and past beliefs. There's density around that. So, okay, let me tap into your gifts. In order for you to really fully bring your gifts to life, we would need to be able to let go of old masculine structures and masculine ways of being and old things that you used to be scared of, that you might think you're still scared of, but you're actually not scared of anymore. And also there's a bunch of stuff that's wanting to be released out of your vagina portal. Like there's like, I can already see as you're receiving my energy, it's coming out and through you as water. And it's just like, almost like when your water breaks, it's just like this huge gushing and releasing out of your vagina hole and out of your butthole. Welcome to Healing with Tasha. So first, before I can tap into your gifts, there's a lot of releasing that's needing to happen, a lot of undoing shields that you might not even be aware that you have up. I need a lot of releasing. It's also around structure, like you wanting to feel more free, but yet constantly bringing back structure into your life, or other people who have tried to bring structure into your life. Like your soul is like, I feel trapped. I don't want rules. I don't want structure. I just want to bend them all. I want to be malleable. I want to be free. I want to be flowing. I just want to like be taken. Just want to be taken. That's what it feels like. So there's this feeling of being held back and being not justified and feeling like chained down. And what the reason why is because you're not letting yourself be taken. Like you want to be taken, but you're not letting yourself be taken, held, and carried. So in the times where you're not feeling strong, and like it's always like this costume of strong that you have to put on, when really what you're feeling is so much less than strong, but there's no other choice than to be strong or to look strong or to pretend you're being strong. And so it's like, be strong, be strong, be strong. But like, I feel so weak. Like, I don't want to be strong. I wish I could just have somebody to not be strong with. I don't want to be strong. It's too exhausting to be strong. And like all this trying to be strong is making your soul is just like whispering. Like she's just can't even yell at you anymore because you're not listening. Like your soul has yelled and yelled and yelled and yelled at you, and you didn't listen and you didn't listen and you didn't listen and you disregarded and you just kept going. Not because necessarily that you're purposely not listening, more because you're just so determined and sidetracked or like on a different avenue and like caught up in the humanness of life, of like maybe wanting to achieve something or wanting to do something, and this has to get done and this and that, and like your soul is like, girl, God, you're too much. Your soul is like, calm down. And she's been like yelling at you, and you're just like not listening. And she's like, okay, well, I'm just not going to talk to you anymore then. And then all of a sudden, nothing, deadness, nothing to thrive off of. This is what I call the ego death. Nothing to thrive off of, nothing to work off of. Everything gets ripped away to your knees, in pain, crying, the worst possible things, feelings, you name it, it gets thrown at you. Why? Because you didn't listen. You didn't listen, so she had to shut down. That's what happened. And because you wouldn't shut down, because you have such a strong human, she had to be loud with it. And she had to throw big objects at you, big things at you. Otherwise, you would have never stopped, and you would have just kept plowing through and doing what you had to do. But what you had to do was stop, listen, be, right? And so all of that, like I couldn't even tap into your gifts because all of that, right? So what we would want to work on together is like, can we connect you with yourself? Yeah. Can we connect you with yourself? And that's how your gifts grow. So what we would do is we would like take away the focus of like healing trauma, as we want to call it. It's not, we don't have to look at it like that. Like that's too heavy. Like you just need release, and you just need a break from all the heaviness. And so what we want to look at is connecting to you, connecting to your divine purpose. Because actually you're on the divine path. Your crown chakra is like blasted open. It's blatantly obvious how open your crown chakra is. And as I'm talking right now, and as you're receiving it, your heart is expanding, your heart is opening up. Why? Because you're feeling felt, because you're feeling seen, and like your soul led you to this live because you needed to be seen, for sure, 100%. Your soul is like, I have my good panties on, see me. I waxed my puss, my legs are shaven, I got my good panties on, I'm ready to motherfucking be seen. And so you got your good panties on, you're ready to be seen, your heart's opening, you're like, oh my God, she sees me. Oh my God, she sees me. Your soul's literally like jumping for joy. Like what I see now is like literally a purple hurricane of swirling of air, like going through your body. So as I'm talking, what's happening is my body, like you're 1,000%, you're receiving my energy in your body. 1,000,000,000%. This purple air is like going through, it's circulating through your body. It's breaking up all the old fears. It's breaking up the materials without even having to talk about the fears. Who cares about the fears? Just looking at the purple hurricane, it's enveloping you. It's like euphoric almost, up through the back of your neck, right? And there's like a coolness in the back of your skull. And then literally the vision that I'm getting is like your head being like, it's cracked open. We're opening your skull, and like the weird things that just don't belong there are just marching right out like a marching band. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. It's like being shown to me as like just like a little marching band with a little fat guy playing a tuba. It's like this music in your head that you didn't need to be there, that was used as a distraction. So there's like all these little distracting energies in your head that were too loud, like this constant like, oh, my head is just so loud, and they're just being released. So as you can actually feel that purple energy coming up, and you can feel them walking out and having like space, and like, holy shit, this is actually kind of weird and scary and open. And as you let them walk out, and you're like, who am I without the noise? my God, who am I? And then the purple hazy smoke starts coming out your vagina hole. There's purple light coming out of your vagina hole. At first it started with like a heavy, like moist purple fog that was kind of like releasing pressure, like letting steam go. And now it's turning to like a purple light, and now it's like really purifying through your body. So it's like shooting out your nipples, it's coming out your armpits, it's coming out of it's letting go of any possible embarrassment that you would have about being on this live, about what happened in your life, about the guy that you farted in front of, the shit that you took that stunk. Like, it's letting go of all of anything that could possibly be embarrassing. And it's just letting it go, and it's just seeing the humor and like how funny life is. And I think because like part of my gift is like bringing a lightheartedness to people, so it doesn't have to be like such a fucking heavy thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you notice how you had tears, but also like it's kind of fun and hilarious at the same time? And like, is this real? Like, it's definitely real. It's definitely like it's working. Is she joking? She's joking, but like she's healing at the same time. So do you notice how it doesn't have to be this big fucking heavy thing? And it's not that we aren't going to be heavy and that we aren't going to be felt, but it's also that like it can be light and heavy at the same time, right? When you're just with someone that you trust. And then the next thing that I'm really feeling is like we're just together. Like, can't you feel that? Like, we're just together in our energy. We're just united. Like, literally, I just spiritually fucked you. Like, fucked you, like had sex with you. Like, I connected with you, you received my gifts inside of you, and I literally just had sex with you. Like, you're experiencing spiritual sex right now. I know, it's beautiful, right? Why? I don't know. Why were you the person that I spiritually had sex with right now that like just felt it and received it all? I don't know. It was just meant to be. Right? So like your energy is the purple and mine is like yellow. And what it's just showing me is like us united. It's like literally showing me like you and me holding hands. I'm wearing jelly platforms. You can wear them too if you want. Why? Because that's my dream best friend outfit. We're wearing jelly platforms. And we're both like super hot. And we're walking into a purple haze with a rainbow. It's beautiful, right? So, Lisa, do you notice how your question was like, what are my gifts? But what you got was so much more than that. Like, you didn't have an attachment to like getting something. Like, do you notice how it was like, your question might have been, how do I make $1 million? Or like, how do I get 20 people to sign up for the thing? Or like, how do I become this? And what you received was like so much more than that. To see the beauty of like body integration. It's because I know gifts, but I was unsure why I was blocked to them. And so, do you notice how I didn't say anything rational to you? I said nothing rational to you. I literally said I spiritually fucked you. And then I talked about a purple haze coming out of your vagina and a band of trumpet playing little men walking out of your brain. That's what I said to you. But you're never going to forget this because of what I made you feel. Because I was using my gifts to help you feel your gifts. So as I talked to you and you got out of your human head and tapped into my gifts, you suddenly became more connected with yourself, which is the ultimate gift. I know, exactly, right, Lisa? And so because I trust that what I'm channeling is coming through exactly as it should with purple fog coming out of your vagina because I trusted and I let myself say that. Like, because I could say there's a release happening. That's what I could say. I could say you're releasing a lot of blah, 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 blah. Instead, I said there's purple fog coming out of your vagina. Like, me saying the smarter version, okay, let me see the spiritual version of this boring ass fucking version of what I would actually say. Okay, Lisa, so what I feel like you really need is to release a lot of pressure that's going on in your life. And I feel like your brain is really full and you might be like feeling resentful and feeling feelings and not knowing what they are. So Lisa, like, you just need to release pressure and do my master class. Feel so high right now. Oh, I'm like so lost in your purple haze right now. But do you see how dumb that is? Just talk about the purple vagina smoke. Do you know what I mean? So if we had to take away, like if everyone had to take away a lesson from this, it's like, don't talk to Lisa like this. I prefer the purple stuff from the vagina, right? Like, connection is all that matters. Do you notice here that what I say literally doesn't matter because you're feeling me inside your body? So like whether I said the professional thing or whether I said the boring thing or the exciting thing, all that matters is you felt me inside your body, and that was something. Because when all you can hear is my words and you can't feel me, then that's nothing. So for sure, like right there already, that shows how capable you are. And if you were to do like the witch Hazel healing sessions, I could teach you how to do that with people. I could teach you how to do it on people. I could teach you how to receive that. And that would be cool. Because what's really wanting to happen is your gifts are wanting to come to light and you needed to experience receiving somebody else's and connecting to yourself. And so then I would teach you how to read your body and like all that stuff. That would be next. So, just have to check something. Okay. So I'm actually, yeah, you know, Lisa, you had to take something away, right? So it's actually time for me to go now. And for those of you who are interested in like having soul connection where you feel something magical and like almost you can't even put words to it, but you know that you're feeling something, you know you're creating magic in your body, and you know that you're connected to a soul sister. Like for people who want to feel instead of just like hear the Lisa version, like don't you want to feel deeply? Those are like the kind of people that that's why you're here. That's why you're here, to join the purple haze of smoke, to join the tunnel of Tasha. So all of my stuff is like this. Like it's all so connected. Like I'm sick of, if you're just sick of explaining things and you're sick of like trying to figure things out and you're sick of like being mind fucked and you just want to feel your body and just want to like, you just know that like your soul is asking you for something juicy, this is what we would do together. So the Witch Hazel healing sessions, which are all new, Zoom calls, which are 60 minutes, and they're $1,000 for three of them. Private coaching, which is $3,100 a month for a rolling Voxer. So you come into the Voxer, you say what it is that you want to say. I come back with my intuition, and then we go into an intuitive magic channel together. That's $3,100. The mastermind is 10 days for $444, 30 days for $1,111, or 3 months for $3,000. So it's the same thing with the Voxer, but there's groups of girls. It's a group of girls. So it's a group chat. So if you're somebody who holds back in group spaces, then you would want to do private coaching. If you love the sisterhood and you want to be with other women and talk with other women, then the mastermind, right? And then I have my 10-day private coaching trial, which is $1,111. So I absolutely loved talking to everyone. And for those of you who didn't share the video, I would love it if you want to share the video. And if you want to see when I go live, you'll want to tap on the top right-hand corner of the video and mark get notified when Tasha goes live so that you can see. Because I don't ever schedule lives. I just randomly go on. So I love you. And that was so fun. That was so amazing.